Stop guessing. Use these UX metrics to make data-driven decisions. So why do metrics matter to UX? Metrics are essential for understanding user behavior and improving the quality of digital experiences. UX metrics are quantifiable data points that allow you to measure and monitor the user experience of your product over time. They are crucial for ensuring that UX design is evaluated using evidence and not just based on opinions and guesswork. So let's look at the types of metrics and what their relevance is in UX design. Metrics can sound quite complicated. In this video, I'll show you a simplified way to approach the subject. I'll talk about the major types of metrics in UX, what they're used for, the calculation of some important rates, and we'll end with me showing you how to set up a benchmark study that collects shopping cart data. Types of UX metrics include behavioral metrics, which track user actions and engagement, attitudinal metrics, which measure user feelings and perceptions, engagement metrics that help gauge the depth of a user's interaction with a product. There are many other types of metrics, of course. Descriptive metrics, which provide primary user interaction data, diagnostic metrics, which investigate the why behind user actions, but in this video, we'll focus on the first three. So we understand why metrics are relevant to UX design and what the various types of metrics are. Now let's walk through some specific examples that show us how companies track and analyze usability data. Behavioral metrics. Behavioral metrics focus on the specific actions users take, like clicks, navigation paths, and time spent on a page. By measuring how many users sign up for a newsletter or complete other tasks, the efficiency of a product in delivering a user's expectations can be monitored. Rates are used to measure time for completion, the percentage of success, how many errors users encountered, and whether visitors can be converted into customers. Let's look a little closer at one of these rates, the task success rate or TSR. This metric, expressed as a percentage, measures the effectiveness of a feature and shows the proportion of users who completed a specific task. For example, if 10 users attempted a task and 8 successfully completed, the TSR would be 8 by 10 into 100 or 80%. Attitudinal metrics. This type of metric focuses on user feelings and emotions. Attitudinal metrics measure how users feel about your product and whether or not the user interface is easy to use. This metric utilizes the collection of surveys and standardized questionnaires to collect data. You know the common question that you encounter, how likely are you to recommend a friend or colleague on a scale of 0 to 10? This is used to calculate a measure called the Net Promoter Score or NPS. The NPS is equal to the percentage of promoters minus the percentage of detractors. So the responses that come in are categorized between promoters 9 to 10 and passives 7 to 8 that are ignored and detractors 0 to 6. So if you get 100 customers and you get 70 promoters, 20 passives and 10 detractors, in the end the NPS is 70% minus 10% or 60. And finally, engagement metrics. This metric tracks the overall level of user involvement, interaction with the product over time, session length, return visits, and active users. Engagement metrics made popular by social media include tracking active daily users, monthly active users, general engagement rate, and adoption rates for products and features. Let's see how the general engagement rate is calculated. The most common formula is the engagement rate equals total engagements by total followers or reach into 100. For example, if a post receives 350 engagements, that's likes, comments, shares, and reaches 10,000 followers, the engagement rate is 350 by 10,000 into 100 or 3.5%. So we understand how UX metrics have relevance for monitoring and measuring the impact of UX design. But how does one actually go about collecting this data? Let's see how you can set up a basic UX benchmarking process. I'm going to use the funnel feature of LogRocket to set up a very simple benchmark. I'm going to ask it to track how many visitors add items to my cart, how many then visit the checkout, and how many complete an order. And voila, it generates this beautiful chart, which you will now recognize as a behavioral metric. It tells me that I had 1,206 visitors to the cart, 815 or roughly 68% went on to the checkout, and of that number, 411 or 50% completed an order. So, what's your go-to UX metric? Share it in the comments and subscribe to LogRocket for more UX tips and tutorials.